Hi everyone, it's Beauty Junkie. Welcome to my channel. Today we are doing a demonstration on how I clean my makeup brushes. I know we're all doing a bit of a deep cleanse on everything lately, so I thought makeup brushes should be included as well. So I'm gonna go through my process and show you what I use and how I dry them. Alright, so I'm going to be washing mostly natural hair brushes. I have a few synthetic in here, but I'm going to basically use the same process. So the soap that I find to be not harsh and best for my natural hair brushes especially is Dr. Bronner's Castile soap. I use the unscented version because I don't want any sort of scent on a product that I use near my face. So I use the unscented one, but this comes in a lot of different scents if you prefer. This is a large size, but believe it or not, comes in like gallon sizes that you can refill. This one's 32 ounces. And what I mostly like about this one, it is made up of a lot of different oils. It doesn't really foam up, but it definitely gets your brushes and sponges really clean. And I just like how economical it is. It's not the cheapest soap, but it is really safe for your brushes. So that is what I use. In the past, I've used this African black soap, but to me, I don't like the little rough pieces in it, and it does foam up quite a bit that I think it's a bit too drying. But I know a lot of people recommend stuff like this to clean brushes, but I do think it's a bit harsh. So I just wanted to mention that. So what I have here, you don't have to have, but it is certainly nice to have, is kind of a rubber tool to clean your brushes with, and this is a pretty small one. It's from Real Techniques, but they make a lot bigger mats that you can spread out over your whole sink. And basically you're going to be using it to, when you have soap in here, and I'll show you, you're going to swirl out the soap with these little ridges, and that's going to help clean your brushes by giving it a little bit of friction. So this is something that I use. So first off, I'm going to clean my sponges, and of course I use a bit of a different technique. First I get them wet. Temperature wise, I try not to keep it too warm. Just kind of temperate water. And I make sure the sponge is fully wet. Of course, you're going to want to wash sponges a lot more often than your brushes. They're going to harbor a lot more bacteria. So if you're applying foundation every day, ideally you're going to want to clean them every day. I, of course, do not have time to do that. And I know this is going to sound terrible, but I just try to get them cleaned once a week. And that's usually how often I have the chance to clean them. But keep in mind, for sponges and brushes that you use on your face, all over your face, if you do have acne-prone, congested skin, you're going to want to really make sure you clean your brushes more often than other people. So I would suggest natural hair if you do have that kind of skin, and if you're wearing makeup every day, to wash your brushes once a week. Your eye brushes and stuff like that, I would say about once a month would be fine. Just kind of depends how many you have. If you only have a very few number of brushes, you're probably going to get them dirtier a lot quicker. But yeah, just keep in mind, like, if you do have acne-prone skin, washing them more often is better, but you do want to maintain the health of the brushes and not wash them chew too much because they can get dried out and frayed. So keep that in mind. So this is probably as clean as this one's gonna get. It's not perfectly clean. I think it's just stained. But as you saw, I got most of it out. And now I just have this little one. And what I'm doing with these sponges is just circling it in my hand. You don't want to squeeze these too crazy hard because you'll develop cracks. Even like when you first get them, you can easily develop cracks. So how you wash these, you got to be really delicate because you don't want them to break off. So the swirling method and the oil I really like to do. And this one gets so small, it gets cleaned pretty quickly. I don't have any sort of special holder for these. I just kind of put them on top of a paper towel. So I'm going to clean my face brushes first. So I'm going to pour some more of the soap into my cleaning tray. I'm going to put a little bit of water in with the soap, and then I'm going to hold my brush underneath the water so that the hairs are pointing down, and they should be pointing down the whole time. You don't want to flip this upside down so that the water gets deep inside the brush and it can't escape. So now you're just going to see me swirl the mat, cleaning mat, and this is how I'm creating friction. And if you kind of think of this like those old school like washboards where you'd rub the fabric up and down the board to get the dirt out, this is kind of like that same idea. Also, what you want to think about when you're swirling and creating that friction is you don't want to go like crazy hard or press way into the mat with this. You kind of want to use the same motions as if you were applying this on your face. So this one's all done. I'm going to set this to the side. I just rinse it out, make sure it's pointing down. And then I take a cloth and just squeeze out the excess water. And then I'm just going to put this one to the side here, and then I'll show you how I dry them overnight. So basically I just continue this process. I'm going to put a little bit more soap. The good thing about the soap, you don't have to refill it every time you put in a new brush. It can really keep cleaning even though the water is a little bit cloudy and dirty. But you can see I'm just swirling the brush. I'm not going crazy directions. I'm not scrubbing. And the dirt should come out. Sorry, the makeup, not the dirt, should come out pretty easily. I'm using some white brushes, and I'm not using any pressed pigments with these, so they're not getting stained. So they wash out very clean. But eyeshadow, I do have some brushes that, eyeshadow, I do have some brushes that are stained because I used pressed pigments with them. And yeah, you really got to pay attention to your eyeshadow because if you're using white brushes, they will stain. So I'm just soaking out the excess once again. So I'm going to show you some dirtier eye brushes so you can see how well this works. This has some darker eyeshadow eyeliner on it. And I'm just going to show you how kind of dirty it gets and how easily this gets clean. And when you have like a large mat, like, you can get your stuff clean pretty quickly. And if you are cleaning your stuff every day, not that I suggest you do that, but if you're like a makeup artist and you have to clean your brushes every day, a larger mat would probably make things go a lot faster. But you can see how fast this got really clean, even though it's white. You do want to make sure these rinse out really well and squeeze out the excess. So that's pretty much it. You just want to keep using this until it gets like super dirty, or you notice, the soap's pretty much gone. Then you just rinse it out and put more soap. But I think this process keeps the natural hairs really intact. I'm not noticing a lot of hair loss or frays with this technique. So I really enjoy it. I think my brushes really enjoy it. I'll go ahead and show you, this is a synthetic face brush, and you can see how this works with that one. I just swirl it. Now the bigger brushes, it's going to soak up a lot more soap, so you really want to make sure you rinse them really carefully. And you'll see a lot of like colored water come out of this. Even though it's dark, like it hides the color like really well. So you want to make sure these dark bristles are really clean. And if you notice when you are wringing out the water with your towel that you're seeing soap come out, that means you need to rinse it again. So just a couple tips how I do it. I'm going to go ahead and wash the rest of these, and then I'll show you how I dry them. So before I show you how I lay them down to dry, I just want to show you a really good trick if you're worried about your brushes maintaining their shape. And that can certainly change over time as you wash them over and over again. They get a little more spread out. So after you wash them, what you can do to sort of help keep their original shape is apply a little aloe, and you can just get any basic aloe vera from the drugstore, supermarket, and I just put some in my hand and then I run the brush through it a little bit and then kind of wipe off the excess. And then I use my fingertips to just shape it so it will get a little bit of a cast when it's dried, but once you move it around, the cast will go away. But that reduces the amount of little like stray hairs. So I'll show you a larger brush. You're just going to want to paint on the aloe and then shape it with your fingers. You don't want to put too much. Just kind of want to align everything in one direction. And that's it. If think it's a really good tip if you want to kind of help your brushes dry, evenly and they don't go all crazy. I think the aloe is a really good tip. See that? This is how I dry my brushes flat on a paper towel, and I just leave them like this. Usually it takes like 24 hours and then they're good to go. Again, when you put the aloe vera on them, they'll just need a little quick rub and then they'll be soft again. But yeah, this is how I dry them. I don't spin them, I don't lay them upside down or anything like that. You just want them to kind of be in a good state where the water can just drip out and not up into the brush. So that's how I do it. Again, this is just a really great soap for all kinds of brushes, natural or synthetic. Aloe vera, it's a good natural way to keep all your hairs in line, fibers in line, whatever they are. Keep everything nice and aligned. Keep those stray hairs from remaining that way. Any aloe vera will do. And then I suggest having a little brush tray or a cleaning mat for your brushes that's textured. A larger one, preferably if you have a lot of brushes to clean at one time, that'll be really helpful. Anyway, that's it for my brush cleaning video. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.